Welcome everybody to this AI Act webinar, which is organized by the Erashi project. To introduce myself, I'm Laure de Tassigny. I work at Minalogic, which is a French cluster in digital technologies, and we are partner of the Erashi project. Today, the agenda, here it is. So I will start by introducing the Erashi project, and then Paloma Ley from TÜV Sud will present the AI Act and the AI Risk Navigator tools. And then at the end, we will have a session for questions. You can write your questions in the chat and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. We will share the slides and the replay of the webinar tomorrow. So you will have access to the video and the slides. So let's start. So first, what is the Erashi project? It's actually a European project funded by the Horizon Europe program. It is about the topic of AI robotics, and the objective is to develop applications for a safe human-oriented industry. The project lasts about 3 years and a half, and it has a 5 million euros budget, including 2 million euros, which is redistributed to startups and SMEs for them to develop projects. The Erashi project gathers 12 partners from 5 different countries, and this consortium is a cross-sectoral consortium composed of RTOs, academics, SME, industry, and association. Erashi, in a nutshell, aims at improving conditions, trust, and acceptance of collaborative embodied AI in robotic systems for the production machines and tools sector. The objective is to support the industry, especially startup and SMEs, in the uptake of advanced digital and eco-responsible technologies. And the final objective of the project is to help employees in their daily activities and improve their working conditions, leading to a productivity increase. And in this project, there is an original worker-centric approach, because it considers the workforce, the well-being and the health of the employees in the industry. And the Erashi project has developed specific methodology of ethics and worker acceptance of technology. So briefly, how Erashi is designed. Well, it has launched 2 open calls that funded startups and SMEs. There was 2 million euros budgets to fund 12 projects, 200,000 euros each for each project, and their project lasted between 15 and 18 months. Each project has to choose a technological brick provided by the Erashi partners, and they had as well to respond to one of the 10 challenges that were defined by a board of EU industrials. And on top of the grant, all these projects benefited from a bunch of services of support that the partners provided to the SMEs and the startups. And there was a special mentoring by industrial pairs, but also business coaching for them to have a market potential and with the objective to reach commercialization of their solutions quite soon. And they also benefited from a support, an eco-design and life cycle analysis supports for their projects, and as well as human-centric and ethics methodology. So here it is for the Erashi presentation. If you want to have, to have more information about the project, I encourage you to have a look at our website or on social media, and you can also send us an email. So now Paloma is going to present you the AI Act and the AI Risk Navigator tool. So I will leave the floor to you, Paloma. I'll stop sharing my slides and you can share yours.
Will do. Give me 1 second to set it up. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Paloma Lai, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join this webinar. And so I work as an AI Quality Advocacy Manager at Truth, and within my role, I support AI initiatives within my organization with a special focus on the regulatory aspect of AI. And that being said, there is a Q&A session at the end of this webinar. If you have more technical questions, since my background is more political science and more regulatory, in the regulatory aspect, I mean, I can share my contact information with you, and I can take these questions back to my team and get back to you with any answers and try to help you as much as I can. So with that, today I will be outlining the EU. I'll be outlining the EU AI Act, specifically its timeline of implementation, its risk classification system, and some key requirements. Secondly, I'll present the AI Risk Navigator tool, which is something that you could use to assist you in classifying your AI system according to the AI Act. And finally, I will present to you the ISO IEC 42001 standard, which is a certification that can assist you in demonstrating compliance with the EU AI Act going forward. So starting off with the implementation timeline, since its conception, the EU AI Act has been coming into force in various phases. So it was first published in 2021 and then entered into force in 2024. And the first phase started in February of this year, introducing restrictions on prohibited AI systems, which we will go into in a little bit, as well as AI literacy requirements for organizations. So this would be establishing a learning pathway to ensure basic understanding of AI within your company, specifically when it is used in day-to-day work tasks. So the first phase started in February, and most recently, this past August, there have been some additional changes, as you can see. There have been some rules in which organizations must engage with notified bodies, and these bodies are appointed by the notifying authorities. And organization must engage with these notified bodies to assess their high-risk AI systems. A second point is that providers of general purpose AI models must meet transparency requirements, as well as providing technical documentation and implementing risk mitigation measures. And finally, the penalties for noncompliance have taken into effect as of August of this year, and I'll get into that a little bit later. In the next year, the remainder of the EU AI Act will apply, with the exception of the classification rules for high-risk AI systems, which will come into force in 2027. So breaking down a little bit the EU AI Act, the EU AI Act is a horizontal legislation, which means that it applies to all sectors and industries, and it classifies AI systems into 4 risk categories, each having corresponding requirements and constraints. And to facilitate the compliance to the Act, the European Commission has requested European standard organizations, such as CEN or CEN-CENELEC and ETSI, to develop a set of harmonized standards. And these standards would offer presumption of conformity to companies who implement them within their organization. And the current deadline for these standards is for the year 2027. So there is a little bit on the way, but there are steps that you can take that we will delve a little bit deeper in. And this legislation is significant since the lack of conformity will lead to financial penalties, which may vary in severity. So as you see, a severe violation could lead up to 35 million euros or 7% of global annual turnover. If a company provides incorrect or misleading information to the national authorities, they could be fined up to 7.5 million euros or 1% of global annual turnover. In the case of small to medium enterprises or startups, they will be fined at a lower percentage due to special considerations to viability and proportionality. And something that I wanted to add to that is that the EU AI Act has included further measures to support and simplify compliance with the AI Act for small to medium enterprises. And so some of these include the provision of regulatory sandboxes. And the aim of those is to create a space in which organizations can test their AI products and services with regulatory oversight before market deployment. So this would increase a sense of legal certainty, as well as supporting compliance and facilitating marketing access. So as you can see from this, the legislation is significant since the lack of conformity could lead to financial penalties of varying severity. And in addition to a financial loss, non-compliant can also lead to production delays and beyond that, even a loss of trust with your stakeholders. So this highlights the importance of organizations informing themselves on the requirements for their AI systems in due time. Moving on from this leads me to the breakdown of the risk classification as outlined in the EU AI Act. So at the top of the pyramid, you will find AI systems which pose an unacceptable risk. So these systems are prohibited. And examples are systems with social scoring, real-time biometric identification, and exploitation of vulnerabilities. Underneath, you will find the high-risk classification, and this is most commonly seen in recruitment or medical sectors, and these are subject to compliance with AI requirements as well as conformity assessments. Then there is limited risk, and the requirements for these AI systems are usually transparency obligations. So for example, in the case of chatbots, users should be informed that they are interacting with an AI system. And finally, we have minimal to no risk. So any AI system which does not fall into the above categories are within this part. And an example of a system would be a spam filter. And to better recognize the EU AI Act and how it will impact individuals' organizations, it's important to understand the roles within the AI Act's framework. So there is a chapter dedicated to definitions for these roles, definitions overall, but also including these roles within the AI supply chain. So we have providers, and these are those who create or develop AI systems which are placed on the market. Then we have deployers, and these are individuals who use AI systems within their organization. Importers are those who bring AI systems into the European Union, and distributors are those who make these AI systems available in the EU. Then we have product manufacturers, and these are organizations which place products with AI systems underneath their own brand name. And in the case that a provider is not based in the EU, there are official representatives for these providers, and these are called authority representatives of providers. And finally, and very importantly, is affected persons. So these are individuals or entities who are impacted by the use of AI systems, whether that be directly or indirectly. As you may know, the EU AI Act, one of its fundamentals is to create a regulation which protects fundamental human rights and creates safe and trustworthy AI, hence the importance of addressing affected persons. So for the purpose of today's webinar, I decided to present a higher level view on the obligations for providers of high-risk AI systems. But if this use case does not apply to you directly, we can of course discuss this during Q&A or better yet through email. So just repeating the definition for provider, this is a natural or legal person or a body which develops an AI system and puts it on the market, whether that be for payment or free of charge. And these are some of the obligations among a list, so I just put a couple here. The first one being that providers must ensure that their systems are compliant with the requirements set out in Chapter 3, Section 2 of the EU AI Act, detailing the requirements for high-risk systems. Then providers must implement a quality management system related to their AI system. And similarly, they should also establish, document, and maintain a risk management system throughout the AI lifecycle to effectively identify and mitigate risks. And the final obligation that I included here is that systems should be developed in a manner which includes human-machine interface tools so that a natural person can prevent or minimize risks related to health, safety, or fundamental human rights. Then this leads me to a tool which you may find helpful in identifying the classification of your AI system, which in turn could help you better understand the requirements that you must follow. And this is the AI Risk Navigator. And the AI Risk Navigator has been developed with the Chief AI Lab. And as you can see on the right-hand side, we have integrated our instance on the artificial intelligence page at Chief Studios. I will also share a link in the comments in the chat section after this presentation for you to use if you're curious. But this AI Risk Navigator tool is based on the text of the EU AI Act, and it operates through a set of questionnaires which guides you through a questionnaire which guides you through a series of multiple choice questions to evaluate your AI system, its application area, and impacts. So once you have completed this questionnaire, you will have a report which will indicate the risk category that your AI system falls into, which would then better help you understand the requirements needed to comply with the Act. So with that, I just want to show you a brief example of how that would look like. So I already have it open here. This is the AI Risk Navigator tool. And starting off, it already asks to classify as either an AI model or AI system. And as an example, if, for example, you don't know, so you click uncertain, the following questions will help guide you to better understand what it classifies as. So for example, the system consists of one or more AI model and has a specific purpose. So I go next. Is your system an AI system with the meaning of the AI Act? I will say yes. Okay. Then it leads you to defining your role within the EU AI Act. And there are additional tools within this that can help you better understand the question and the answers. So for example, it has direct references to the EU AI Act to understand whether you classify as a provider or a deployer in this scenario. It also has a little info button which better gives you further information. So in this example, it says that if a provider is established in a country outside of the EU, they're still considered a provider in the sense of the AI Act. So once you have completed this questionnaire, I have, prior to this webinar, gone through it since it's quite a few questions, and for the essence of time, I wanted to be more efficient. So this is the report that I generated, and my answers led to classifying my system as a high-risk system with additional transparency obligations. And you'll have a summary detailing your type, the risk level, and your role, and the justification of each of these points, as well as where you can find it within the EU AI Act. So let me just go back to the presentation. Bear with me. Oh, there we go. So the point of this tool is that it could provide you with a valuable resource to assess your compliance status and then prepare for the necessary adjustments to help further you towards the path of compliance. And as I said before, I'll share this in the chat and I encourage you to give it a try. Then I would like to present another tool that supports the governance of AI usage within your organization, namely ISO 42001. So maybe some of you have already heard this. But this standard offers a structured framework to establishing and implementing, as well as continuously improving an AI management system within your organization. And the ISO 42001 standard follows the Deming cycle. So it requires an organization to establish measures to deal with AI-related risks. And this involves setting roles and responsibilities which govern AI systems. This standard also aids you in identifying and managing AI-specific risks throughout the AI lifecycle, so from conception until deployment. And AI-specific risks could be related to bias, robustness, or safety. It also entails controls for data governance, data quality, as well as representativeness, privacy, and integrity. It also enforces practices of transparency and documentation. And finally, this standard puts in place processes to monitor and continuously improve an AI management system. And additional information that is important to mention is that this standard can align with additional standards such as ISO 27001 on information security and ISO 27701 on data privacy. And this is relevant in the context of the EU AI Act as it overlaps with some requirements of the ISO 42001 standard, and the EU AI Act have some overlapping requirements such as risk management, data governance, human oversight, among others. And the implementation of the certification within your organization can demonstrate due diligence in the sense that the certification would show that you operate your AI system in a responsible way. And nonetheless, it is important to note that the ISO 42001 standard is voluntary and the EU AI Act is not. And beyond that, the ISO 42001 is a good step to take, but alone it does not secure total compliance to the EU AI Act, since it does not apply to all specific AI use cases, but rather the manner in which it's managed. So obtaining the certification can make compliance easier through systemizing requirements of the AI Act. In the meanwhile, for the publishing of the harmonized standards, you can always refer to the text of the EU AI Act in itself. I would also we can also discuss later on additional standards. They're just not in my mind right now, but other standards that you can take on to help certify compliance. So to bring this presentation to a close, what I would like to highlight is the EU AI Act is not only a piece of regulation, but it's also a way, it is shaping the way in which AI systems is being designed, deployed, and managed throughout various industries. And understanding its timeline, as well as its risk classification, would help organizations anticipate what's coming. And there are tools available, such as the AI Risk Navigator, which can help translate legal requirements into some more practical steps. Especially if you don't have a strong legal background, the tool is made to be user-friendly to all. And additionally, there are standards such as ISO 42001, which could give you a structured framework to manage risks and systemize compliance. But beyond that, the regulation is not only about legal obligations. As I mentioned previously, it would reinforce the creation of trustworthy, safe, and human-centric AI, which is one of the biggest conversations that we are having in AI today. And so the EU AI Act would make it a concrete requirement rather than an aspiration. So with that, I wanted to thank you for your attention, and I look forward to any questions and hope to be able to answer them. I will also provide the links here for you to use if you're curious to try it out.
Yes, do not hesitate to write your questions in the chat.
And if you have any questions that come up afterwards, I will provide also my email here that you can reach out directly to me either through email or through LinkedIn. And I'd be happy to answer them through that format as well.
I think we have a questions from Paula.
Yes. When there's involvement of an end user, the project can still be considered So no need to register a possible high-risk software, etc. I'm not sure about I think I would rather refer back to my team with this, as this question is a little bit more technical and I want to give a more accurate answer. So, okay, great. So then I will take my question back with me, and then I'm not exactly sure how I can get back to you with the answer, but perhaps I can provide them to Laure, or I'm not sure which method would be best.
If you provide your email, Paola, maybe, or I'm sure we will have it in the registration form anyway.
Mhm. Okay, great. Then I look forward to your email. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, if no more questions, I think we can close the webinar. Many thanks, Paloma, for
Thank you.
your for intervention today. It was a pleasure to host you for this webinar.
Mhm.
And if you have further questions, then you can send them directly to Paloma. Or if you're interested in the Erashi project, you can send the questions to me directly. I will write in the chat as well my email address.
And I echo the sentiment. So thank you for inviting me today, Laure, and thank you for participating. And I'm happy that the presentation was enjoyed. And please feel free to reach out with any questions.
Thank you very much for assisting to this webinar, and wish you a nice afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.